The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back at it. This is The Local Show with Tom and Steve. Glad you could hang out with us on this early spring day.
Thank you for saying early spring and not midwinter. Thank you, Tom.
Well, it can't come fast enough because my indoor plants are about to bite the dust. I'm not taking very good care of them. Well, that's not true. I am taking good care of them. I just don't know that I'm doing it the right way. So I've got yellow leaves and they're craving sun. Then I read that you can't keep the same dirt in there. So it's been about 5 years I've had the same dirt with a lot of these indoor houseplants. You got to actually change the dirt out, put more nutrient-dense dirt back in.
Maybe there's a use for your beagle now. You could kind of
go to the bathroom.
Yeah, maybe there's a purpose for that dog. It hasn't had one.
Maybe instead of going on the carpet, he could go in the plants.
Yeah, and he re-nutrients.
Yes, that would be very nice. Okay, well, folks, if we're here, then you are too. And somebody who's near and dear to our heart, Joe Stanley, Esquire, is also here with us. He's the founding partner of Stanley Law. Good to see you, Joe. How are you?
I'm great.
Good. So the better weather is here, but not really totally yet.
So. You say so.
How's your tire, by the way? The last time we spoke to you, had a new tire.
Now I have an extra full tire in my trunk, too.
Oh, so very nice.
My wallet's a lot lighter. My wallet is definitely a lot lighter.
Your tires are dang expensive these days.
And rims. Rims are even more.
They're nuts. I remember I had Mustang GT, and I had to replace that damn tire. I had to take out a mortgage.
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but we're old enough to remember you would buy like a used tire to replace a tire.
Right. Yeah.
You know, you got the thing, hey, have you got, and even if it was like, this one's a snow tire, this one's your, I mean, I don't know that 4 tires matched until I was 30 years old, quite frankly.
Yeah. I know what you mean, yeah. I have put a lot of used tires on my Volkswagen Bug. I put a lot of used tires on that.
When I was going to college, I used to go up to the junkyard all the time and get the tires.
I don't even think they can sell them anymore because it's too dangerous.
Isn't that something?
It's the lawyer's fault.
Yeah. It makes common sense mandatory, I think, is what the answer is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think there is. We didn't have a lot of that when we were young, common sense anyway.
You know, when I was rewriting notes and questions for the segment, I was going back to our previous conversations, and I was curious, you originally went to school for environmental forestry.
I did. I went to SF. Actually, I was a bio major, and I was a science major, and I have a master's in ecology, so I was going to. I was a different world.
So you went through school?
I actually took my LSATs kind of as a joke during the last Great Recession, being the Great Recession in the 1980s, which was, I guess, 3 Great Recessions ago now, the way they go. But the job market, that was back when interest rates were 19%. People don't really remember how bad things could have been and would have been. It was either go to graduate school or law school, and somehow I ended up in law school. So
you just need an undergraduate degree. You can go to law school, right? Or you got to get in, though.
Most people who go have an undergraduate degree, yes.
Right, but it can be almost in anything.
Yes. Yeah, you have to do well on the LSATs, and you have to have done well in whatever you did as an undergraduate.
Right, it counts us out, Tom.
I mean, law school, you have to be able to read very well and write well. I mean, so if you learn that, it's...
So how different would law school be today? If you were in law school, how different would the studying, would the learning be? Or do you think it probably hasn't changed much?
Well, it's all reading, except it's different. I would hate everything is done on a computer screen, and I learn and I do much better. I like to read on paper. I mean, I do everything on a screen now, and I don't like it. And having to, if I was raised, that's all I knew, it would be fine. But having me go back and be forced to do everything on a screen and do everything typing. First of all, I never learned how to type.
No kidding.
I had to learn how to type crudely over the years. Yeah. But in the 70s, if somebody told me that the world was going to require typing, I would have learned how to type.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things that if you can't tell the future, you can't predict, can't do the
Well,
present.
it's funny because, there's 10 years between us. I'm 10 years younger than you. And in the 80s, my teacher at Corcoran High School, they said to take typing because they said the computer thing was going to happen.
Right.
And I thought, I don't want to do it, but I needed an elective. Best thing I ever did.
I wish
because
somebody
now
would
I
have told me
type.
that.
Yeah. I can type like lightning now.
I took it, but I did poorly. That probably shocks you, Tom.
Well, yes.
Well, poorly is better than no skills.
Yeah, right.
I did get through typing, but it was
I wish
poorly.
I had them. I'm not sure I would have been great at it, but it would have been a lot more than the painful way I learned.
Right, but like your
Right.
math teacher always told you, you're not going to have a calculator in your pocket all the time, Joe. You need to learn the math skills.
But it's funny working in radio. A lot of the news guys, I'm surprised they use one finger technique.
Still?
They just tick 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 and they peck away at it. Now I don't know what the modern newsrooms do. That was when I was in radio. But
Right.
I'm looking forward to voice.
Yeah,
full
there's just a
voice
voice.
for everything,
Yes.
so then I don't have to worry about a
then you can
keyboard
be
anymore. That's
just
right.
like Captain Kirk. You can
That's
just
right.
ask the computer
That's
questions
right.
and things like that. So when do people call your firm? What happens that makes people have to call Stanley Law?
Well, I think there's a big cross section. I think there's some people that are wait and see how things turn out and try to figure it out themselves, and then there's other people who automatically want to get help because they don't understand. And so I think what's important is that people have information so they can make a decision on whether or not they need to ask for help immediately or a little bit later. A lot of what we do is cryptic. I'll use that word.
Yes.
To a lot of to average people. Not that it's complicated, but it's if you don't do it and you don't understand it, it's not something that in your everyday life you're going to do.
But do people sometimes, call Uncle Bill, because Uncle Bill, he's an attorney, he went to law school, and they call Uncle Bill or call somebody, and
Sure.
then time goes on, and Uncle Bill, because he doesn't specialize in it, doesn't know what he's doing, maybe he's well-intended, but then you get a call like, hey, can you help me with this? Do you get some of that?
Yes, actually, I just got one today, and I had to turn it down because one of the things I've learned over time is that there better be an exceptional situation, and we do help people out all the time, but sometimes cases can be so messed up by the time that they come and ask me for help that it's not salvageable.
That's sad.
It's because it's, what you said. I mean, somebody can get so far along and so far beyond the point of assisting that there's nothing we can do at that point in time, and they're going to be unhappy with us.
Right.
There are times that you need to make sure you do the right thing in any kind of process. Whether you're playing football or whether you're injured in an accident, there's things that you need to do and you must do.
Right.
And if they aren't done in a timely manner or adequately, that they build up, and that at some point it becomes almost unrectifiable. And believe me, over the years, I've taken many, and I still help many people. But this one I had today was to the point it was so bad that it was, it was only 3 weeks before the statute of limitations was going to expire.
Oh, yeah.
So you can't really, 3 weeks doesn't give you any time to even figure out what happened.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
but waiting is okay if you understand what the consequences are. But most people...
But it'd be better off to get to you right away.
Well, it's better
when
off to
something
have
happens.
information.
Yeah,
You see,
yeah.
I mean, people waiting when you don't understand is always a bad idea for anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not necessarily for law, it's for medicine.
Yeah,
It's
right,
for,
medical,
It's
yeah,
for
yeah.
anything. Waiting just for the purposes of waiting is not a good idea.
So if you're waiting, or maybe you shouldn't wait, call Joe, 800-608-3333. They can get a hold of you there, StanleyLawOffices.com, and ask the question.
That's right.
And we've learned from talking to you before, if you can help, you help. If not, you say, I can't help, and you give a real square answer.
Yeah, and I try to refer them to somebody who can.
Great. Thanks for being here.